Hey folks, it continues to be rain-free across the valley. Our storm staying well to the northeast of us, but still having an impact on the coast. This is a different view from Sky 5 right now in South Padre Island. There's water in places where we don't often have water. Water's very high. Up in the flats on the north end, there's water, and it's a foot or two deep in some places up there where cars usually drive out and people go fishing. And not the case right now. You walk through, again, water that's a foot or two deep, and I think it's probably going to continue. There's another high tide coming up around 10 o'clock tonight. So we expect the water to continue to build once again. A coastal flood warning in effect because of that. Water is pushing all the way to the dunes. There's a lot of dune erosion. On the north end, we've got to watch for any road closures. There's a possibility of that. Even the water coming up through some of the drains during high tide because, rainwater runs off through those drains out to the bay. And when the bay's high, it can't. So it comes back up in, and you end up with water in the streets, salt water in the streets coming up through some of those drains. High surf advisory remains in effect as well. High rip currents likely as well, or dangerous rip currents. So, again, I wouldn't go swimming in that water right now. It's just too dangerous. Rip currents are very strong. Here's a look at what radar looks like. And, again, you look, there's nothing here, and it's not a very well-defined system. That's for sure. 160 miles to the north of us. There it is right now on the radar. Some rain coming across the coast as we speak. Winds are gusting to about 45 miles per hour or so. There's Port O'Connor. That's where Christian Colon is. You saw his report earlier in the newscast, right there at the tip of land on the mainland. And they're getting close to the wall, if you will. There's not much of a wall, not much of an eye with this, but they're close to the edge of it as we speak. So there's the storm system. In Future Track, this is one of our models, the IBM Graph model, which has done remarkably well with this storm. Takes it inland to the east of Victoria tonight between Port Lavaca and Palacios, and then turns it basically northeastward, where it moves very, very slowly. And tomorrow afternoon, still at about the same spot. So they're going to get a fair amount of rain between Victoria and Houston, probably. And some of the models, this one included, kind of take it back out as a remnant depression briefly into the Gulf of Mexico over the course of Wednesday into Thursday, and then bring it back in. Now, here are the official coordinates, 28.2 and 96.1. That position at 4 o'clock, 25 miles to the southeast of Port O'Connor, moving 5 miles an hour. So you do the math, takes 5 hours to get from there to Port O'Connor. That yellow area is the tropical storm force winds. They'll probably reach all the way into Houston. Winds of at least 39 miles per hour, and that goes through tomorrow afternoon as well. That yellow area is still on there, but then as the system begins to weaken, tropical storm force winds are gone, but continues to be a rainmaker, then eventually moving off to the north, and that will be the end of that as it moves across the middle part of the country. So again, for us, the system about 160 miles or so off to the northeast of us, but continue to push that northerly flow down the coast, and that's making the tides run really high. There's your projected rainfall for the valley the next 5 days. Less than 1/4 of an inch at the coast, and for everybody else, 0, nothing, zippo, nada. We missed out on all this rain. It stayed well away. And the kind of rain we were talking about last week, it's good to miss out on because we were talking 10 to 15 inches. And boy, the change in course that was within the window, well within the window, taking the heaviest rain, all the rain, well away from the valley. So tonight, 70 for a low, partly cloudy skies, west to northwest winds. Tomorrow, we're back up to 90, but it takes all day to get there. So partly to mostly sunny skies with that west-northwesterly breeze all day long. Here's a look at the next 7 days, and take a peek at tomorrow. The word shows up there. We're not telling you to fall. We're telling you it is fall. Starting at 8:31 tomorrow morning, autumn officially begins, the autumnal equinox. And you see it doesn't actually cool off anytime soon. Remember years past, we get a front come in right on the first day of fall. That's not going to happen this time around, but we've been pretty comfortable the last few days and should be for the most part the next few days as well. That's your updated First Warn 5 AccuWeather forecast.